Hey guys, my name is Rohit Singh and I welcome you all to the very first video of Developer Geeks Up. Well, this channel won't contain only about the developing stuff, but also will provide you the theoretical aspects of being a computer science engineer. Well, this current playlist will be all about Android and Android development. So now let's jump into the objective of today's video. Well, firstly, we will cover the mobile application development and then we will see the introduction to Android platforms. We will jump into a gist about the platform architecture that is within the Android applications, and then we will see what are a couple of building blocks by which a person can create an Android application, and we will see multiple different development tools which are helped to make and to enhance Android development. In the next video, you will learn to make an Android application. Well, this video covers all about the basics and basic knowledge. Now let's see different type of platform wherein which we can create applications. Basically, there are three type of platforms. There's always a confusion that there are two types, but actually there are three types. One is native, second one is hybrid, and the third one that is the cross platform. All the three different platforms are in use in this real world. First one is a native platform. Native platform are basically they're specifically for a particular operating system, which are platform specific or of a particular programming languages. If I give an example, for Android we often use Java and Kotlin for the native app development, and for building an iOS app we often use Object-C or Swift language. So they are native for their own particular language. They can't use any other language. So that is what the concept is for native platform development. These are some of the popular applications that are built in native applications that we have used or that we are using. Now the next one is hybrid applications. Hybrid app development is basically the combination of native and web solutions. Well, they use some frameworks and plugins such as Apache and other platforms to build their hybrid platform or hybrid application. Some popular example are Instagram, Airbus, Gmail. So they often use hybrid platform. Now the third and the most trending one and the trending topic is cross-platform apps will ensure the hassle-free implementation. They are completely robust and they are affordable too. You might have heard of Flutter, right? So that is a framework which uses a platform called as cross platform. It basically means that for one particular code you will able to get multiple applications for multiple OSs that will run in multiple OSs for a particular program, such as written in Dart, which is a programming language which we use in Flutter, right? So that programming language, after building that, you will able to get Android app as well as iOS application. So these are some popular framework that we often use. One is React Native, another is Flutter, and another one is called as Xamarin. Well, these are some popular applications, cross-platform application that will make in use. Now in this whole playlist and the development part, we will often use the IDE called as Android Studio, and we will use the Java. There will be another playlist wherein which you will get to learn the Android development in Kotlin. Well, Android Studio is officially integrated development environment, that is we call as IDE, which is for Google Android's operating system, which is built by JetBrains. It is a software based company which they often build multiple IDEs, and this is one among them. This application can be run in Windows, Mac OS, and Linux operating system. Now let's see something about Java. Java is a completely, or I can say a pure object oriented programming language which is robust, which is very simple, right? So this is what we will use in our development in this tutorial, and in the next and in the another playlist we will use a Kotlin programming language for developing the same thing, that is the Android application. So some basic tools, that is the IDE that we are using, that is the Android Studio, is created by the JetBrains and with collaboration of Google and Google developers. Now let's see why you have to learn the mobile application development. As you can see in this chart, every single year the users of mobile application are increasing in the numbers of billions, right? They are paid well. Mobile application is quite a unique thing to learn about and to get in acquainted with. So this is somewhat a wonderful domain where you can excel yourself well, since there are millions of mobile users, right? So they are acquainted with using mobile applications. So as if you are developing a wonderful application which is useful for environment, right? So you might even earn a lot of money rather being in a job as a freelancing, right? Now let's see the introduction to Android. Well, Android is an operating system. An operating system is basically like like an interface which is between the user as and the hardware. If you want to get music to play, you need an interface between the user and the hardware, right? If you want something to displayed on the screen, you need to have a monitor, right? But before that you need to have an interface, right? Basically Android is a Linux kernel based operating system, right? The base or the module within which the Android is built is on the Linux operating system, right, which is an open source. Now let's see the framework behind the Android application. As you can see, everything is mixed, so I will just fragment it for you guys. First we will see the Linux kernel. You can see the works it works as HAL means hardware abstraction layer. Basically it allows you to implement functionalities without affecting or modifying the higher level systems. It helps in the process management, in the scheduling of the processes, right, and the memory management. So the bottom layer is the kernel or the Linux kernel layer. Then comes the libraries are one of the very important thing as a part of Android development, because libraries are somewhat like mean or a help desk which helps you to enhance your application, to build your application more beautifully and more efficiently. So libraries will help you. You can see there are multiple libraries like C++ libraries, interface Java, 2D 3D graphics. You can add pie charts, you can add 3D objects, and the you can see the media codes and SQLite. So the database that we often use in Android as a default is SQLite, right? Now then comes the Android runtime. There is something called as Dalvik VM means virtual machine. Basically it is like the it helps to uh, it helps to manage your memory, your battery life, and to enhance your performance, right? So if it basically gives a mean or a midway path to run your applications, right? So now we will see different frameworks. Basically every development aspect requires a framework, right, on which it will get displayed on, or something that works on, right? There's something called as API, that is application programming interface. We will make a separate video with for this, because it's a whole bunch of thing where you need some aspects of technological knowledge and networking knowledge too. So we'll cover this topic in the next video regarding the API interface. But the mobile application development runs on the framework called as activity framework. We will have different activities within which we will code, and we will make the process happen. Like if you click this button, it has to go to the next activity or the next module, right? So this is how the activity framework works. Now let's come to the application, right? What kind of application you can make, like phone, browser, contact, or a home application. Home means you can use for day-to-day users, right? Now let's jump into the basic building blocks of mobile application. As I told you, the basic was the framework, which was activity. Then comes the intent receiver, which is one of the very important thing. Intent receiver means basically to do something. Like if you have to go from one slide to another slide or one page to another page, you have to have an intention between that. So you have to tell from where to where. So this is what the intent means. There's something called as services that we'll see in the next slide, which helps in providing different kinds of services that the hardware has within it. And there is something called as content provider. As the name suggests itself, the content providing it helps you to provide the different contents. Now let's see the different development tools. There's something called as Eclipse, which is an IDE, that is integrated development environment, which was used in which was used years ago. Now we often use Android Studio, right? And there is something called as SDK 2.0. Basically 2.0 is the version. SDK stands for the software development kit. Basically it includes a comprehensive, I can say, set of development tools, which has like which includes debugger libraries and multiple handset emulators, right, which helps you to make simple codes, right, and it will help you to enhance. Basically in less code you can make wonders. Now let's see intents. As I told you, intents are something like some intentions. When you have some intentions, right, by using intents you can call someone, you can mail someone, or you can contact someone. So this is what the aspect of intent is. Now let's see what are services. Basically there are two kinds of services. One is background services, another one is a foreground services. Now if you are playing a music in your Spotify or some applications, but and when you click on the home button, the music will still run in the background. So these are called as the background services, which will run in the background, like notifications or the network security or the net providing the network, right. And there is something called as notifications while you are using the application. So they are called as the foreground services. There are many things that you can do in foreground too. So these comes under the services part. Now let's see what are the content providers. Content providers are basically to address, like you can see the example, address book, photo gallery, right. So they provide you these contents, like what are the list of photo galleries, what are the different kinds of address, right. So this is what you can use in by applying APIs, right. You can add queries, you can delete, you can update, and even you can insert the data. So this is the list, this is the providing of content. One of the wonderful thing of IDE, that is of Android Studio, is emulators. Emulators are basically an actual phone that they have embedded within the IDE. If you want to run your applications, you can directly run, and you can check all the different things in that in that emulator itself. But there is one limitations also, that you can't open the camera, but it will run exactly like a mobile phone. And that's the reason the Android Studio takes a little more RAM than other IDEs. So this is one of the best part is of uh, of using this IDE. And there are many devices within this IDE. You can use Nexus, you can use Google Pixels, and of different lengths and different diameters. Now let's see what are the application life cycle. Basically applications run in their own processes, right. They have some particular time they can run, they can shoot themselves, like this, at this particular time you have to run this process, or at after this particular time you have to run this process. So how this whole thing is managed, we will learn here. This is called as the life cycle chart or the life cycle. Basically there are 7 kind of functions that we often use. One of the very important, or the one of the first level, is the on create. when this is called when the activity is first created. As I told you, activity is the framework, right? So on create function enables itself when the activity is created first. Then comes the on start, which is in the second after the on create thing. Well, on start is basically called when the function or the elements within that activity comes into existence or is visible to the human eye, right? Then comes the on resume. This activity or this function is basically called when the activity starts to interact with the user, right? First was when it is created, second was when it was visible to the user, third one when it started interacting with the user. So these are the three important one. Then it comes the on pause when the activity is not visible to the user. Then comes the on stop, which is no longer visible, right? Then comes the restart, that or the on restart function, which stops but restarts again. And at the end it comes the on destroy when everything gets destroyed and you just get exit from that particular present activity. So these are the 7 life cycles of Android development, which is very important when you come into development part. One of the best thing of location manager is that in basically the latest Android version is the Android 12. You can see there's a little animation, there's a little images that they have used. While giving permissions, you can either give the user permission that you just have to use the application while you're using, or you have to give the permissions while you're using, or this is for the one time, or you can even deny it. So this is called the location manager. It manages before it manages, you have to give it permission, right? So this is the permission part, which looks beautiful when it comes to Android 12. Then it comes the notification manager, which is also one of the important thing. As I told you, there are two kinds of services. One is foreground and another one is a background service. So the notification manager, you have every manager thing have to have a permission first, right? So you have to give the permission first, then only you can do some magic in it. So first you will give the permissions that yes, you have to access the notification, either foreground permissions or the background permissions. After that you can enable or customize your own notification. As in the picture you can, or in the slides you can see that you can add your personalized images, your own title, your own subtitles, and many more. Then comes one of the very important thing, that is views. Views are one of the very important aspect when it comes to the development or the designing part. Because when you are in your job or some place like that, you won't develop anything directly. You will get a design from a designer, a UI UX designer, right, with multiple different layouts or orientation, and then and only then you will get that work done according to it. So you will use multiple different layouts to develop this and to make an ease while developing it. So there are multiple layouts that you will come across when we will jump into the IDE. Now let's come to the last slide, that is the Android 12, which comes with a bunch of features like customization of your notifications, customization of your toolbar, right? So this is a wonderful thing that Android has added in the latest version of Android 12. Well guys, this was from my side. I will see you in the next video, wherein which you will learn to develop your first mobile application in Android. Well, thank you so much guys. Please don't forget to comment down how you enjoyed, and please don't forget to share this video if you find it informative.